I take time for myself every morning to stretch, to meditate, to journal, and just really feel calm and have moments where I don't have to think about anything but what I'm doing. But I don't want my experience of stillness to be confined to my morning. I want to live a life that doesn't just meditate in the morning and then forget about it and go on autopilot the rest of the day. I want to integrate my peace, my stillness, my happiness into everything that I do throughout my day. And so I have found ways throughout my day to just remember to slow down and fully pay attention to whatever the wholeness of the moment brings. And this process of finding those moments throughout my day, this practice has helped me so much to cultivate a life that I love and to just honestly feel better. I feel like since I started living my life more like this, I have become way less stressed, way less caught up in the little things, and way more trusting in whatever the process may bring. And also I've just learned to enjoy the moments of my life in such a deeper way than I used to. And I'm still on this process of doing it. I'm still learning and growing every day of how to do this in a better way for myself. But I feel like I've come so far with it. And I just wanted to share how I bring my practice of meditation, my practice of stillness into everything that I do. So I wanted to share with you just 3 simple things that I integrate into my day that just make me a calmer and happier person. Basically, learning how to slow down, learning how to enjoy the simple moments. 3 just things that I do on a day-to-day basis that really help me to live a life that feels simple, feels slow, feels like I'm enjoying every moment, and a life that I just enjoy to the fullest of what it is, no matter what the circumstances are. So the first thing that has helped me a lot, which is something that I've actually started doing somewhat recently, and it has absolutely transformed my life, is just in moments throughout my day, in between when I'm doing things, in between, working on something, in between cooking and eating, in between all of those little activities and moments throughout my day, just putting my hands on my heart and closing my eyes and really paying attention to the way that it feels to breathe, paying attention to the way that my body feels as it interacts with the space around it, and giving the wholeness of the moment my full attention, not thinking about what I'm doing in 5 minutes, what I'm doing in 5 years, not thinking about the things that have been stressing me out or the past, just giving myself even 2 minutes to pay attention to my breath has made me more aware of my breath. And I find that my breath calms me down a lot. And so that's where the practice comes in of throughout my day, just having a couple of times where I take a moment to take a breath, take a step back, and pay attention to my breath. In times when I do feel stressed, in times when I do feel worried or anxious about the future, I remember that I can go back to my breath and pay attention to it. When I add that simple practice throughout my day of paying attention to my breath, it does help me so much because it becomes a practice. When I sit down and put my hands on my heart and begin to breathe, I know exactly what to do. I'm brought there by the practice of doing it. And so throughout my day, taking moments to pay attention to my breath has helped me so much because it helps me to slow down, it helps me to calm down, and it just helps me to in the dialogue in my mind of oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, oh, now I'm doing this, in between that, I'm able to take a step back, recenter, reground, and just reset my intentions. And so even just for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, adding little intervals throughout your day in between doing things of just paying attention to your breath. You don't even have to close your eyes. You don't have to put your hands on your heart. Just paying attention to the way it feels to breathe has helped me so much. Another thing that I have found so helpful in my days are just bringing my awareness to what I'm doing. When I'm working on something, when I'm cooking, when I am taking a shower, when I'm going on a walk, when I'm reading, just really paying attention to what it feels like to do that activity. Sometimes I'll realize that I'm cooking and the whole time that I've been cooking, I've just been letting my mind run wild. I've been thinking about yesterday and tomorrow and all these random things and random conversations and things that aren't really relevant or helpful to me have just been overrun my experience of cooking. And when I acknowledge that and I realize that my inner dialogue has been the thing that's running through my mind and I'm not actually paying attention to chopping up a tomato anymore, when I recognize that, I pull it back. And I remember to just pay attention to the way it feels to cut a tomato, the way it feels to like hold the pan and put something in the oven. Just giving whatever I'm doing my full attention has helped me so much to, again, in those moments of stress, in those moments of worry, bringing my attention back fully to the present moment. And so the practice of meditation, or the practice of becoming aware of the moment, isn't confined to taking a step back. It also is integrated into everything that I do. And I find that my life feels so much fuller and more enjoyable because I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing. And I just feel like every moment now holds so much potential, like even just sitting here in my living room. And once again, I'm not perfect at it. I have a lot of moments where I just fully fall back into the dialogue within my head. But even right now, like sitting in my living room recording a video, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing later. I'm not thinking about what I'm stressed about. I'm just sitting here surrounded by my living room and enjoying the sights and sounds of it, you know? The moments hold so much more of a fullness when I'm paying attention to them fully. The last thing that has helped me so much to just slow down, to enjoy the moments of my day to the fullest, and to just like find peace within changes and stress, has been to make more time for space and less time for distraction. I found that in our technological world, in our social media world, there's so much time that we devote to distracting ourselves. So much time that we devote to scrolling through social media, scrolling through our emails, scrolling through the news. In those moments where we have like 5 minutes of free time, our initial reaction is to pull out our phone and do something random on it. And I found that pattern within myself of I was spending so much time distracting myself. And overall, it was numbing my life. It was giving me this feeling of not fully experiencing life. I felt like life was feeling dull. And so about 2 months ago, I would say maybe a month and a half. Yeah, maybe 2 months ago, I deleted Instagram off of my phone. And oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Even though I was good about setting boundaries with Instagram and not spending a lot of time on it, I still realized that it served literally no purpose in my life. Like sometimes I would draw inspiration from it, and the days where I do need to go on it for work or need to like go on it to get a link or anything like that, I go on it on my computer and it's a much different experience. Once I deleted Instagram off my phone, I noticed how many moments throughout my day that were just time for empty space, time for the space to think, time for the space to not think. I had so much more time because I didn't have this distracting app to open and distract myself with. And it was so helpful because now I feel like I'm just so much more connected to my reality. I feel like when I'm in a moment, I'm in it so much fuller than I used to be because I no longer have my phone to fall back on. It's been so helpful for me deleting Instagram. Among other things like that distract us, that was something that distracted me, but I found that in those times when we have the urge to pull out our phone, it's so helpful to just sit there. And the more time you set aside in your day to make space, to just have the space to breathe, to just have the space to sit, and even reading or just doing something like that has more spaciousness in it than scrolling through social media, opens up life so much more. Sometimes we feel like we have no time, and I definitely feel that sometimes. But when I stopped being on social media, I realized that I was making so much time for those things that didn't actually make me feel good or fill me up. And so just reevaluating the things that we do in our life that drain us and the things that we make time for, whether they're helping us or whether they are making us feel dull and distracting us. And so deleting Instagram off my phone was so helpful. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna download it every once in a while to post something, but I don't know. I just feel really happy about it not being on my phone anymore, but we'll see. Once again, just remembering throughout our days that stillness, calmness, silence doesn't have to be confined to vacations. It doesn't have to be confined to our morning routine. It doesn't have to be confined to meditation or our yoga classes. Feeling calmness, feeling stillness is something that we can cultivate in our daily life. It's a practice, but it's one that's just helped me to enjoy my life so much more and really enjoy the simplicity of being alive. in such a deep way. And I'm still learning every day how to do this. I still get caught up when I'm working, caught up in doing things. But having these practices that I do throughout my day has helped to alleviate my tendency to be distracted, my tendency to let my mind run wild and not pay attention to what I'm doing. And so I just encourage you in your own life to do the same. Find ways that you can slow down and enjoy the simplicity of every moment. Because within every moment, there holds this infinite possibility, this infinite space. We feel so closed in by our mind. We feel tense. We feel like we're stuck. So within that feeling, within that tenseness, within that tightness within us, we have the ability to transcend it and to find joy and peace in the moment, whatever the moment may bring. The changes, the stability, the hard times, the easy times, whatever it may be, finding our peace, our grounding, and our stability within it. And it's a daily practice, and I'm learning, but these things have just helped me to slow down so much. So I wanted to share them with you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today.